David, first of all, can we get your reaction to Jack Grealish being named the Premier League Player of the Month?
I'm really pleased for him. He's worked incredibly hard, and he's looked after himself. It looks a bit better in the summer, and made sure he's had come back with the right mindset to produce, and he has produced for us. He's made a big difference to us, so we're pleased for him. It's just the start for Jack, and hopefully there's a lot more to come.
Just the start. What's been the real key, though? Is it something you've done, or is it purely down to Jack himself?
No, it's nothing down to me. It's down to Jack Grealish, and probably every footballer wants to play, and actually managers have a really difficult job. Every week we can only pick 11 players, and it's very hard, and I understand it. I've got the same problem here at this club at the moment as well. We've got a lot of good players who I can't play all the time, but I think Jack wants that feeling that he can play and he can be selected, and when he does that, then I think he produces, and he's done it really well for us in the games.
He does seem to be a real symbol of optimism around the place as well. I mean, talk amongst the fans this weekend is of making another statement against another side that was challenging last season up for the European spots as well, because obviously you've already beaten Brien out in the season. I mean, how do you see it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you're talking about Aston Villa there. Well, I've got great respect for the manager and great respect for Aston Villa and what they've done in recent seasons. They've been amazing. And it's really difficult to explain until you're in Europe regular and you're playing sort of Premier League games how difficult it is. And I think they've done it brilliantly well. I know they've not quite got to the levels they wanted to reach, maybe in getting to the finals, etc. But certainly regarding the league position, they've done a brilliant job, Aston Villa. And they've signed well. They've bought a lot of really good players. So look, it's a huge game for us. One of the teams who everybody would expect to be up near and around the top.
How do you feel then now about the building blocks that you've put in place during this past transfer window?
Well, I think we've tried to get the first part done. I remember saying to you, Vinny, a few times that I don't think we could do it all in the one transfer window, and I don't think we have, and I don't think that, I don't think any club could suggest they have. And what you need is your players who you bring in to help you and make the team better. We finished the season really well last year. We finished the season brilliantly well with the players we had. So the players we've brought in, we hope can add to it. But if they do as well as the players did last season, I'll be more than happy.
It's the first chance we've had to speak to you since deadline day as well. Just wonder what impression Merlin Roll has been able to make, because it seems that he's made a favourable impression on the group and himself.
Yeah, I've been pleased with what I've seen, I have to say. But look, he's another young boy coming in from a different league. Different speed, different intensity, but he'll be able to handle it, I've got no doubt about that. And he'll give us an addition to midfield. I thought we were a little bit short there with the numbers we had there, and he gives us another player. As everybody's well aware, AFCON comes around as well in mid-December, where we're likely to lose 2 or 3 players to AFCON, so we've got to make sure that we're ready for that period as well.
Anyone you can liken him to?
No, not really. He's quite different. No, he's a sort of tall boy who's got lots of really good attributes. But he's a German under-21 international. I think there are hopes that he'll go on to become a full international. For him to do that, he has to play well for Everton, and we hope that we give him the platform to do so. Just
with Merlin, or other signings as well, but I'm thinking in particular as well of Jack and of Kieran coming in. Mm-hmm. If they're a success throughout the season, what can that do for the club's ability once again to move in the transfer window and bring in players of that calibre, equal calibre, if not better?
Yeah. Well, I think we've got to be careful that we don't step above where we're stationed at the moment. I think stability might be a pretty good word for Everton. I think I wouldn't say we got it back last year, because we were fighting ourselves out of position of, it could have been difficult and we could have been in a worse position. So I think try to get the feeling that we're a stable club, whether that be finances, whether that be performances on the pitch, whether it be just getting into the new stadium and everybody finding their way around. But look, we've given everybody something to shout about at the moment. The supporters are excited. We're really excited. There's a brilliant atmosphere inside the training ground. The players are training well, so we've got to hope that we can use it and build on it and improve as we go along.
Jordan Pickford, I'd imagine, to be a key figure in that stability as well, and talk of him, or talk of the club opening contract talks with him and wanting him to stay for the rest of his career. What are your thoughts on it, and can you tell us at all where contract talks are at, if at all?
Well, I think he's a really good age for a goalkeeper. He's getting more experienced as he goes along. He's the main goalkeeper for England, and he's done brilliantly well since I've been here, and to be honest, when I've watched him over the years, I had him at Sunderland as well when I first started. So no doubt that we'll be doing everything we can to make sure that we get Jordan re-signed.
So Jared Branthwaite out on the grass, where was he at in terms of his recovery?
Jared's getting closer, but no, he's not quite there yet, but he's certainly getting closer, and hopefully we get him back, because he's a huge player for us. He's a player who we've got big value and lots of hopes for him, so we're looking forward to getting him back.
Any idea when he can join in with the group?
No idea at the moment, but I think we'll be a few weeks before we're at that stage.
And just to go back to Jack, one final thing, David, obviously with that Player of the Month award, I mean, how hopeful are you that he's put in the performance in now that we'll see him recalled to the England squad? Because we obviously spoke about that being a motivating factor for him.
I think it is a big motivation for him, and no, he's put a marker down, that's for sure. But I don't pick the England team. I'm glad I don't, because there's so many good players to pick in the England team. The England team played really well against Serbia in the result, and there was some really good performances by players. So Jack will need to keep playing well if he wants to jump above them. So let's hope he does do.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Simon at Premier League Productions.
Hello again.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You're normally drunk this time at lunchtime. Are you not normally you're not had a few drinks now?
unless Vunto can do that, I'm all right. Thank you. Let's move on quickly. Just to come back to Jack and Kieran as well, just the creativity that's also got the end result now as well. What do you do, if anything, out on the training ground that's maybe different, that has brought that?
Well, the only thing I could say what I've done is try to give them an opportunity to play. I mean, they need to play well enough to stay in the team. That's first and foremost, because we've got other people at it as well who could probably be in those positions as well. But you're right. I think Kieran and Jack have given us creativity which we've not had before. I think Kieran's a really good footballer, has been. He didn't play as much at Chelsea, a little bit like Jack, but I saw both of them good British players who I thought could give us something which would make us a bit better. I mean, the important thing for me at Everton was to try and make the team a bit better than where we'd been in recent seasons, if we could do.
Keenan's, I think, already played more minutes this season than he had in all of last season. So that's clearly helped him as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks as if, I mean, the first couple of games he played very well. Even in the friendly games at the start he played well. But it looked as if he just needed to get the 90 minutes under his belt in some of them. Now he looks fine. He scored a great goal. He's involved with the assists as well. So he's an important player for us. He really is. And look, he's only just started. So we're hoping that he continues to grow. There's a lot of talk about Jack, but Kieran's done brilliantly well, I have to say.
You mentioned the new stadium. I think there's only 2 teams in Premier League history that have ever moved into their second stadium, as it were, and won the first 2 home games there. So what do you do, or what have you done, or what can you do that gives you that advantage that also doesn't give the opposition, because they're going in thinking, but this is brilliant.
I've got to say it is brilliant as well. It's a great stadium, and everybody should enjoy it. I think what we've tried to do is drum home to the Everton supporters how much we need you the same as they were at Goodison, because Goodison was so good for us. The supporters were so good there, and I have to say certainly the first league game, and for 50,000 to turn out in a League Cup game against Mansfield was a great achievement in itself. So I have to say I think the supporters have helped us greatly. They got us over the line at Brighton. You know, we had to save a penalty to get us through and get the result. So it's got us off to a good start, and the support was fantastic.
And just one more for me. How's the left back slot looking for this weekend?
Miko's around it. We'll need to see if he's going to make it or not. We'll need to see, but hopefully he might be okay.
And was it a knock from him or just a fitness thing?
He'd felt something in the game against Wolves, and he'd made his known, but he felt that he was fine to go to Ukraine and go with them. But once he got there, he felt as if maybe he wasn't quite right, so he came away from it.
Thank you. I'll get back to my Vimto.
Thanks very much. We'll go to Julia at Radio Merseyside.
Hey, David. Just one more on Jack. I know he'd said here in an interview after, I think it was the first game against Brighton, he felt he'd fallen out of love a bit with football and wasn't enjoying it. And then he said here he really loves it again. Did he say that to you before he joined? And also, what is it about Everton that seems to fit Jack Grealish and vice versa?
I think where he comes from and how he interacts with people, I think is acceptable here. I think Everton supporters, want a bit of interaction with the players. Would like flair, but want them to know that they're going to be honest and hard working. I think Jack's incredibly honest. Jack would be the first one to come and tell you when he's not playing well. He'd be the first one to say that he didn't do well enough in a situation. But I think he should take the plaudits just now, because he's not had many for a while now, and to win Player of the Month in the Premier League with the level of new players that have come into the league, the new signings that have been bought in for clubs who are paying hundreds of millions, you'd have to say it's a big privilege to be given that accolade as Player of the Month, and I'm pleased for him because everybody knows he's back again.
Someone who has had some really good positive results coming in for him at the moment, some reviews, is Michael Keane. He's obviously stepped up while Jarrad Branthwaite has been out. I just wondered how you've assessed what he's done. I think he'd signed, didn't he, expecting to be called upon as a substitute when needed, but he's really stepped up, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it's very difficult to have players that have enough players who can go into the first team and make sure that the first team doesn't look any different. I think Michael's experienced enough, played plenty of games here before. But I think he might have needed just a little bit of attention as well and understanding, and he's played really well, Michael. He really has. He's done great in the games. He has to keep it up because there's big competition for those positions, and his performances have warranted getting a good mention because he's played well.
You say there, so sort of Jack and Michael Keane there. As a manager, how do you deal with that, though, when a player maybe feels, I don't know, either left out or just things are not going right? How do you deal with that? Because that's not necessarily something you can do in training, is it? Do you have to have conversations with them?
Yeah, well, that's part of the management job, and I mean the footballers all want to play. It's when you come to a club, you're hoping that you're one of the ones who's starting the 11 every week, but we can't start 11. I think when you've got more cup games and more European football, it means that your squad can be rotated a bit more than it is when you don't. But no, it's part of the job. It's not the nice part as a manager, because it's never fun telling players either you're not starting them or maybe you're not playing them in a certain game. But it's part of it, and you have to live with it. I've done it enough times now, and it's never easy, no matter who you're not selecting.
Someone in your squad that has had some headlines this week is James Garner as well. He's had a lot of positive reviews as well. He has played, I was counting up, I think it's 5 positions he's played since the start of the summer. Is that what you look for in a player at the moment? You might need that versatility and someone that's just willing to play anywhere, and also he's in his last year of his contract as well, so are you quite keen to keep him?
Well, I don't know if he's in the last year of the contract. I'm sure there'll be a clause in there where we've got him, but I couldn't even answer that question couldn't answer that, but you?
Well, we don't go into clauses, no.
Yeah, we're right, okay, so...
but he's a versatile player, isn't he?
He's an incredibly versatile player, and we're very fortunate to have him. And actually, again, I got asked a question earlier there about the England team and the players in. I think if I was on the England staff, I would be keeping a close eye on Jimmy Garner, the way he's performing at the moment. I think he's playing really well, and I think that Elliot Anderson has played brilliantly well for Nottingham Forest and for England. But Jimmy Garner, I think, is playing exceptionally well, and obviously young English player.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Rory at the Press Association.
Hi there.
Just to continue a bit of the Grealish fest today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the relationship he has with Villa is a long and deep one. What do you think it means to him these days to play against Villa, and is it a good one for him to come into in good form?
Well, I think it's a question for Jack, not for me. I don't know. I can't really answer the question, but all I could say is I went to watch Villa and Crystal Palace last Sunday night. There was hundreds of Villa fans came up to me asking me, how's Jack, how's he doing, and everybody loved him as far as I can see. Maybe they tell me different, but that was the feeling I got.
And he's just turned 30 as well. Just a bit on, I don't know, I guess over the years you'll have come across people who show the hunger to really flourish and go again after that point, and some who maybe have had their best days by then. From what we're seeing, I guess Jack's looking on the right side of that balance.
I think you have to do all the right things now. I think when you start to get to 30, how you look after yourself, how you train, your preparation, all the stuff which make you perform. And you know, let's be fair, we've all been there. Some of you might be under 30 in here, but not many of you by the looks of it. But I have to say, you know, yes, you know, when you're an athlete, you have to keep yourself right. But I have to say that modern football's allowing you, you know, so players to play longer. We're seeing it with, you know, we've seen some brilliant players. Ashley Young was a great example of that. You know, if you keep yourself right and keep preparing and doing the right things, you can have a really long career.
And just very generally from the international break, any other? You've had a couple on slightly longer journeys than others. Have you got any other concerns in terms of availability?
We've got a concern about Ellie and Dye. He's got a knock, so we'll need to see. We're not sure how he'll be for tomorrow.
Thanks, Rory. We'll just finish off with Will.
Hi, Dave. Just check on Aston and Patterson. How are they getting on?
Yeah, they're both back in training. Pato's not had any football yet, so I wouldn't put him down as sort of match ready yet, really. But he's been back now the best part of a week or so. Young Adam as well got a game at Doncaster a week ago as well. So just beginning to get them back in amongst it. So yeah, they're back fit. Are they match ready to play? I'm not 100% sure.
Just going back to Aston Villa, the relative success, the success they have had. Is that something you think Everton can imitate? Obviously they went down, they come back up, got themselves maybe where they are. Is that something that Everton can aim towards, you think?
Well, I think you always want to look for role models who you could possibly look to see who you could sort of do similar. What I will say, and you'll know better than me, but I think they've probably had 100 million put into the club probably over the last 5 or 6 years every year or so, which it's great commitment from the owners and great commitment from everybody at Aston Villa to do that. We're only at the start, so we've got a long way to go to catch them up as far as that goes. They've been building a really strong team for quite a few years, since Dean Smith, and since that time they've been building up all the time really. So I think Villa have shown everybody, you know, that they've been a really good side, and you know, getting to semi-final cups and not quite making it, but they've certainly been in around the top 6 of the Premier League as well.
Just finally for me, going back to deadline day, there's some supporters who maybe would have liked to have seen a new right back come in. Did you try and get one in? Because obviously there was talk about Patterson maybe going out on loan as well.
Yeah.
That was happened.
Yeah, we tried to get. There was a few players we didn't get in which we wanted. Would have liked to strengthen defensively if we could have. That's what we were looking at, but for different reasons we just didn't get one over the line in the end. So that's why I said it was going to be always difficult to get it all done in one window. We just couldn't, and our main focus really was always to try and get new attacking players in to give us something different. But we didn't quite get, you know, a right back or another centre back who could maybe play right back as well, and that would have given us at least an extra player.